everybody, and welcome to the Esteemed Gentleman podcast for Wednesday, March 10th. I am your host, Scott Labrie. Join alongside me, as always, we have the big cat. He's stalking ya.
Wow! I'm getting better.
And we have, with the man with the energy all day, Eric Duchesne.
Oh,
All day, yeah.
For those who don't know, we record these 3 episodes all in a row, and Eric is going on not much sleep from the
No,
night
it
before,
was a rough night last night. I'm pretty tired, so yeah. But I'll try. I'll be here.
he's here.
gotta live up
That's-
to the
yeah,
reputation.
That's all we can ask. And today's topic is brought to you by Tyler, so I tee it up for you, and you bring it home, or however that goes.
Oh God. Okay, let's see. So I came across an interesting article today, and it made me think a little bit about games that I've played continuously, repeatedly. The article that I came across was actually about an elderly video gamer. There was a Reddit post, and this gamer, his username is Ape Watcher. He talked about his grandfather, who's 65 years. Or sorry, his dad is 65 years old. And I guess he's just completely obsessed with Red Dead Redemption 2 and Arthur Morgan and that whole story and everything. And apparently, well, if you guys don't know what Red Dead Redemption 2 is, it's basically an epic cowboy story that's open world. You can literally do anything from hunting to cooking food at a campfire to robbing banks and whatever. Like it's just insanely open world game. And it takes roughly 50 to 80 hours of gaming time. Like that's game time to beat it. And apparently, this old fella, he played this game and finished the story over 30 times.
Holy shit.
And I was like, this can't be right. And I looked at the articles, and apparently this guy's story is getting a lot of notoriety and a lot of fan buzz. So I was like, well, it can't be the only game that he plays. And when I saw the picture of this guy, he's like slouched in like a really comfortable looking chair. And he's got the Red Dead Redemption 2 cover t-shirt on. And he's just chilling. He's got his glasses, beard, he's got snacks beside him. And he just goes, I guess, for hours at a time during the day. He's retired and everything. I mean, all the power to him. That's awesome. And they apparently his son and a few of his friends tried to get him to play other games like The Witcher. It's an open world game too and everything. And he kind of starts playing and he's like, well, where's all the cowboys? There's no cowboys in this game. So he's just like, nope. And he goes back to Red Dead Redemption. And he just keeps playing it and playing it. And I was like, I'm kind of curious, like how many older people play video games. And then it made me think about my Nana, who, I think she still does. I'm pretty sure she still does. And she was, it was just kind of weird for me to see when we used to go visit them, how into video games she was, because it was mostly kids my age. Or even like my mom and dad's age, because they used to play Nintendo once in a while, like not nearly as much as my Nana did. So I was like, oh, interesting. And there's considerably a large group of older people, like 50 plus, that play video games, and it's jumped since like 2016 to now. And then I guess since the whole COVID thing happened, it's even more. There's been a big jump. So I thought that was really, really interesting. But like, it just made me think, like, like what game have you guys ever played this many times? Like, that's insane.
30 times.
30 times,
yeah,
like such a long ass game. Like, I haven't even beat it once yet, this Red Dead game. I'm like, oh, it's too much, man. And I've never given up because of that, don't get me wrong, there's a reason why it's one of the best games ever made. There's a reason for it. There's a reason why it's got all the awards and Game of the Year editions and all that shit. Like, it's incredible. But frick, 30 plus times? Like, how many times can you play this? And like, what game have you guys replayed? Countlessly.
Probably the ones, there's like I guess a couple in its series is the Dragon Age series and the Mass Effect series. I've played those through a few times. The nice thing about those ones, you have so many choices and you can spec your characters in different way. One, you could be a rogue or a warrior or a mage. You could be a good guy or a bad guy. You could be like a smarmy asshole or just like a stand-up citizen kind of guy,
Right.
which is kind of a nice thing. And there's always like these big choices that will totally affect the playthrough of a series. Like for Mass Effect, for the first one, I don't know if I should spoil this because technically you might play it through.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I probably will. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just say like there's a choice where you have two crewmates and you have to choose which one lives. And
Oh my god.
if the person who you don't choose to live, they're dead for the whole entire series, while the other one is alive through the whole series.
Wolfenstein did that.
Yeah, so it's interesting to kind of like go back through those games and it's like, okay, I did this choice last time, I'll do the opposite and see how it plays out. And it's mostly the same.
Yeah,
because games can't be that complicated, but it's kind of cool either way.
Right. Yeah, see, like that I can see, having replay value because it'll be a different experience. If you make different choices and you deliberately do things differently just to see what difference there is. Like, I don't know how many different endings you can have in Red Dead because I haven't even beat it once yet. I don't know how many.
3 or 4, I think. And they're
okay, so 3 or 4. But 30 times? That's wild, man.
He's got no job.
That's true, but there are other games out there. That's the thing. But I
guess he wants to be a cowboy.
That's true. And then I think about
my question is has he played the first Red Dead Redemption, or is it just Red Dead Redemption 2?
No, apparently he hasn't. But he said that if they ever remastered it, he would be definitely interested in playing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought that's what they were going to do eventually too, but maybe not.
Okay, and he only plays on the PS4. He won't go on PC. He won't go on Xbox. He won't go on anything else. It has to be on a PS4.
Geez, that sounds like...
Get him a PS5. It'll look better.
Who knows? The controller.
Exactly. The controller is the same, right? That's probably why he wants to keep it that way, yeah.
Yeah, he's got his little comfortable little bubble that he sits in throughout the day.
I did bring up a picture of him. That does look like a comfy chair.
Right? Like super comfortable chair. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, like for me, like nothing I can think of that I can play 30 times. I've played games like maybe I can think of like Pokemon. I've played over and over a few times, maybe 5 or 6, but nothing near the 30 mark though. One game I do play that's the same thing over and over, and you play it too, Tyler, is Riddler 2.
Oh yeah,
that too. Like that gameplay loop is the same. Yes, it's a little different. And you play a different faction by a unit or two, but it's not the same exact game every time, right? So.
Right.
That I can see. Yeah, that makes sense. The same thing with like Age of Empires 2, those kind of older games.
Yeah. You can have different strategies.
Yeah.
I'm going to go all infantry. Oh, I'm going to go all tanks.
It's still the same game, but it's just a little different enough to kind of keep a variety there too. But to play the exact same game where it's the same start and finish every time over and over, like I can't think of nothing. We're close to 30 playthroughs, maybe 1 or 2, but nothing like that. Oh my god, yeah.
Solitaire.
Right? Solitaire.
Minesweeper.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think Eric brought up a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Derek.
Oh no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say Eric brought up a good point because I was just kind of thinking about my teenage years and young adult years. I don't know if I'm a young adult anymore. I'm just an adult now.
You might be that now, yeah.
But actually, probably like the games that I did play the most were probably when I was a kid and you only had like a few games. So like Pokemon Yellow, it'd be like play through that and I was like, all right, re-roll it again, like let's just go. And same thing with like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Played that a ton, and Mario Kart 64 an absolute ton. Up until we got the Nintendo Switch version of Mario Kart, we would still go back to my parents' house and my sisters and I would boot up the N64 and play Mario Kart.
Right.
Yeah, I guess those old games when you didn't have any, it was like you were forced to play them because that's all you had.
Yeah, it makes me think too, like when we used to go visit my grandparents, my brother Jason and I, no, this is not going to be an epic brother story, but we used to go down and we would play in the basement of my grandparents' house because they always had like the top end PC, and we'd play Resident Evil 2 on the PC because there was 4 different scenarios in the game. So you play the A scenario as Leon, and the A scenario is Claire, and then you unlock the B scenario. And then if you play at a certain difficulty rate, you can unlock certain things for the next playthrough. So there was that was one of the first games I think I ever played then where there was potential to unlock something really cool. So if you got an A+ rating on scenario B, you get an assault rifle with infinite ammo the next time you play through it, and that's a whole nother thing, right? And then you do it again really well, and then next time you play as a chunk of tofu with a pistol that it kills zombies with one shot. So it's well, that's wild, let's check it out. And then it ends up being almost impossible, but you want to just keep playing it to unlock it. So that's probably pretty close to 30 times we've played that.
Well, I was thinking that too, because Resident Evil 4 did the same thing, where the first time through you unlock, I think, the typewriter or something like that. The
Chicago typewriter, yeah.
The next time play through, you did you got something else again the next time through. And then
RPG,
yeah, to the point where I think at one point, the fourth or fifth playtime through, we were playing it, you had you just fly through the story because you had all infinite ammo, you had everything, all the best weapons, right? So that's what was kind of fun to play that too. But yeah, you're right. That was the fourth or fifth playthrough finally, and you could finally just have everything unlocked, and
it was worth it because it was just look at me, and you got the cool stupid outfits on, and you're just ripping through, and then the cutscenes you look ridiculous, but you can just one shot all the bosses like nothing, and it's what are you gonna do, Salazar, little bitch? So you're 13.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was back then. That was a big playthrough of it. Was unlock. I remember Metal Gear Solid had the same thing. Snake Eater.
Yep.
Twin Snakes had that too as well. The first time you played it through, you did one story mission with Meryl, save her, or the next one you save Otacon. Next time, then you play through. Now you have the tuxedo on, the spy uniform on.
Yep, exactly.
That was a weird little trick, and cool. That's a neat little thing to know. And
and then the Easter eggs started coming out for everything, and I guess Easter eggs have been around for a while, but just started getting more noticeable.
Yeah. But that was the first taste of cosmetic and gameplay changes when you keep playing the game. Nowadays, that's par for the course almost now. So
right, everything's online, multiplayer. All story-based games are very linear and kind of just, unless it's an open world game, then it's just a whole bunch of the same thing over and over again.
One thing that they strive for nowadays is player viability to make sure they keep coming back. Well, do more of that stuff, not just have it as cosmetic only stories and pay DLC. Well, make it stay around and play it again, right? So
exactly. Yeah. Try releasing a fully finished game. Try that with all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
But so and then the other ones too, like Skyrim, obviously I've played countlessly, and it's funny, a game like that, it takes such a long time to beat it, and it's I think next one I'm gonna go as I'm gonna go one-handed, good with the sword and everything else, but then you end up going back to the same character that you like playing as anyway. Halfway through you give up on it, and it's fuck, I did the same thing again, and you just keep doing it over and over again. Maybe that's what this guy does, the 65-year-old cowboy wannabe guy.
He didn't say play it 30 times, but he did 30 times through. But I mean, same thing. Right. Skyrim, I think I started 7 or 8 different characters, and I think I've only completed it once or twice.
Oh, okay,
that's it. I always make new characters and go so far with the game, but never only beaten Alduin that one or two times, I think, with that one character. That's it.
Yeah, same here. I think I've only gone through, and then you just go around doing the side quests and whatever.
Fun doing the random shit than it is the main storyline in that game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but
I guess mostly with Skyrim, it's not different playthroughs, it's the same playthrough that just is 200 hours long.
Yeah, exactly.
Not too a Pokemon. I think I remember my Soul Silver save a Pokemon on my DS. I remember at 1 or 2, one level 100 character Pokemon, one level 98. They got 700 hours in that thing.
Oh,
it was a stupid amount. This is 10 years ago now, back in college, but it was I game for in the morning all night. I would just play that thing nonstop, and I think I had 640, almost 700 hours saved on it. I'm oh my god, Eric, that's retarded, but it's
insane.
Yeah.
It's when I look at the hours I play on Total War Warhammer 2, holy man. I hate how it shows you right when you open it. It's I have an addiction.
It's just how it is.
But time doesn't mean anything when you're delving into stuff like that.
But you're saying though, Tyler, as well, it's the I know people get thrown off as the age of that guy, that he's 65 and still playing those games. Well, that's to me, that's fine still. And if anything, we're going to see more of that as time goes on now, because like I know when we get older, like in 30 years time, like when I'll be 65, I know darn well I'll still be playing games probably.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like
Definitely.
It's a stat that's going to keep going up and up from here on out for a while.
You won't even need controllers by the time we're 65. You just put on a headset. It'll be like Ready Player One. You just get a little track and put on your little hip holster so you don't fall over, and you just give her.
Yeah.
Or you just think about what you want to do, and it feels like you're actually doing it. It'll just plug straight into your brain or something. Who knows how far this technology is going to go?
Exactly. In 30 years' time, you never know, right? So
I'll just be like, you know what? Just don't unplug me. Just leave me in there, please.
I'll stay in the Matrix.
Real life is the worst game I've ever played. There's no payoff. Just real depressed.
The story mode sucks.
Story mode garbage. So linear.
I'm just looking at my my Steam list for the most played, and it's Marvel Heroes Omega, which is like a MMO Marvel game, which was also kind of like a Diablo-like, which has been shut down, but it says 254 hours. I think most of the time that though is like I had the launcher open and it was just like open on my computer, so I think it technically counted that. So I don't think it's that long, but that was one like I just played and like just put on podcast after podcast and just like just click kill stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my Warhammer 2 playtime. I think I had the same thing. I might have left mine on overnight a couple of times, but still doesn't. It still doesn't justify 577.9 hours I played this game. Okay, this takes the cake. This is the game I've played the most.
Wow.
Repeatedly with Warhammer 2. But there's so much of this game. You don't judge me, man.
That is true. There's a fair bit to it there. See,
and that's right up my alley. It's strategy game, and
So for mine too, there I'm looking at my first one is Fallout 4, which is 145.
Okay.
The next one is an old classic of ours is where'd it go here? Ring of Elysium.
Oh yeah,
122 hours in that.
122. Let me honestly.
Yeah.
Ring of Elysium, man, that was so much fun. I'm at 96.2 on that one.
Yeah, that too. That's still a fair amount of hours. I had nothing close to that. After that, I think it's Red Dead Online with 70 hours.
Jeez.
We already have 70 hours in that game. Oh my god, yeah. So
Age of Empires 2, 104 hours. I know our friend Kent probably has 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 hours. Yeah, that guy's nuts.
Oh, really? I only have 40 hours in Vermintide. I thought I had more than that. No.
That's it?
Yeah.
Vermintide? I'm at 173.
But yeah,
it's too many video games.
It's not hard to rack up hours in games. It's really not.
Especially when you're playing with your friends too. Like, but this guy just plays the same game. Like,
hey, man,
blows my mind. I keep going back to this guy. I don't know why. It just drew me. I'm like, how? Does he pass out while he's playing and just take a nap? How do they measure the time? It's crazy.
His
full-time job is just to play Red Dead Redemption 2.
Right? Sell furs, go hunting, and
stream that stuff. And
go bounty hunting. Yeah.
Well, some people I know play The Sims over and over and over again. Like that too is another game where it's just there's no story with it. Just do your own thing with it, right? And they play hours and hours of that.
Like somebody that's sitting behind me right now playing it, building her 170,000th house.
Yeah, that's some people. That's all it really is to it. Yeah, so it's not hard to get lost in something like that.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's wild. But I know. I just thought that was kind of an interesting story, the Red Dead Redemption 2. But there is an interesting, fun little tidbit on here that I thought was also interesting. I'll just kind of add this to the topic. So there was an essay written about Red Dead Redemption 2 by a 75-year-old playwright, author, and educator, Jessica Hoffman Davis, who might ring a bell to the diehard fans, like possibly Scott. Jessica Davis is the mother of Benjamin Davis, the actor who voiced charismatic gang leader Dutch Vanderlinde in the game. She wrote the essay titled Unsung Heroes, Reconceptualizing a Video Game as a Work of Art. And she describes how she bought a PS4 to play the game in order to appreciate her son's work. And she said, the only way I would get to experience my son's celebrated performance was to learn to play Red Dead Redemption 2. She was 75 when she played it. And
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I guess it had a serious emotional impact on her. So she talks about, like, she has a whole article, like the whole essay is about the time she spent learning the controls, the ways in which the game moved her, and the game's final scenes, which I still don't know, but I kind of, I've heard. She writes, brought her to tears at the end. So I thought that was really cool. Like, she was able to, I don't know why, controllers and all that stuff. Like, I remember when I was a kid, my grandparents were like, "Oh, that stuff's gonna rot your brain. Go outside and play. Go do this and blah blah blah." But now you're starting to read articles now too, saying that it's actually not bad for your brain. It actually, like, majority of video gamers' IQ is actually pretty high. Like, the general consensus that they've reached is that, like, your hand-eye coordination too. Like, even when you go see the eye doctor, like, playing video games, it just increases your reaction times, your fine motor skills, all that stuff, right? Decision making, all that. So screw you guys. But yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Nowadays, and now with that too as well, video games become such a form of an entertainment medium. Right now, it's not just back then in the 90s and 80s and 90s when it was first came out, it was just toys. It was just pointless games with just a high score, and that's it. But now it's a narrative piece, right? You can have awesome stories in it, and
you have a say in how the story goes. You
have it's
relative control over it.
Yeah, that was something of that couldn't have happened back then, but now it's very much ingrained in the whole process of video games today. So,
sure.
Now it's important to that. So,
yeah, exactly. And now there's games that appeal to anybody. Literally anybody. You got the greasy, like, sex games for those people. And you got, like, strategy games for the guys that like having that kind of control over stuff. RPGs, shooter games. Like, everything, and then, like, actually, I just downloaded a game last night on PlayStation. It was on sale. It's called Detroit Become Human. And I'm a huge Quantum, what the heck's the name of the company? Quantum Dream or whatever. They made Heavy Rain and Beyond, and it's got some pretty big A-list actors in there. But in this one here, you play as, like, an android, and I've played all those games, and it's crazy the amount of endings and different choices you can make in it. But it's like watching a movie, but you decide how the movie's going to go, or you make choices for them. And, like, if one of your characters dies, it doesn't really matter because the story is still going to go on and end a certain way, right? And this game, oh my god, you guys, like, so you don't even have to, like, really play games. You just gotta sit there and just make choices. Just sit there and just.
Well, this is like it's like a Telltale game almost. It's a narrative piece, and you're deciding where the story goes, right? So yeah. And
you've got A-list actors, doing, like, the motion tracking, so it's like you are watching a movie. It's crazy, but you're just deciding how these characters are going to turn out in the end, right? Like, you're molding them. You guys got to play this game. Holy shit. It's so good, man.
We'll play it.
Yeah. But anyway, that's video games are awesome.
Yeah. That's all we'll end with. Yeah.
That's what we'll end with. It's awesome.
Oh, we're ending the podcast. Okay.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
I mean, was that 10 minutes? That's my 10 minutes. I don't know.
I just wanted to say, because you brought up Benjamin Davis's mother playing, and that's how, of course, to appreciate her son's work. And I just brought up his IMDb page because I was like, well, has he been in other things? And, like, actually, he's just kind of been bit parts in a lot of stuff. Like, he's just kind of been side characters with maybe a couple lines in, like, TV episode here and there. So,
right.
Like, this is, like, the biggest part he's ever had, and, like, he does, like, such an amazing job that it's like,
oh yeah,
I could imagine, like, why she would be emotional, like, playing this game. You're just like, holy shit, like. It's like, I knew my son's a good, like, actor, but, like, damn.
Right?
Like, yeah.
And when you see what he looks like and, like, the voice that he portrays for Dutch, it's fucking night and day difference. Like, holy man, the guy is
burly dude.
Yeah, just a big beastly guy with, like, this slick dark hair, black mustache, whatever kind of cowboy. But that's crazy, man. Amazing talent.
Yes,
that's pretty cool. That's cool.
Yeah. I want to play through Red Dead 2 again.
Yeah, I'm almost tempted to download it and finish it because I ended in Cuba, but yeah.
Yeah. That's, like, definitely, like, when you go to the island, that's definitely the worst part of the game.
That's where I gave up.
It drags on for a long time. And like after that, it's kind of like okay, it's the kind of the bummer part because that like really sinks that the whole momentum that game had. But yeah, the emotional ending to it is just it's just so fantastic. Like that's the one thing that like makes me want to play again is just like just to go back to camp and like start talking with like all those people again, like just to see them again. That's kind of what I'm what I want to go back to.
All those great characters, hey?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. The drunk ass reverend guy.
yeah, just falling over all the time. Now you can just shit talk them too.
Yeah. Yeah, uncle with his lumbago and fucking
yeah, your dumb uncle.
Yeah,
so good.
And Lenny,
where are you, Lenny?
Go play Red Dead Redemption 2 if you've never played it. I don't care if you don't play video games. That should be your first one. It's gonna be
absolutely.
Yeah,
just to go for a ride on the horse and just look at the valleys and the graphics and everything. It's incredible.
This looks like real life.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it. Unless you guys have any other final thoughts here.
I can't think of anything else that I've played 30 plus times, but no, I think we're good. Mm-hmm.
There you go. Cool. Well, if you like the podcast, like it here on YouTube. Subscribe, share with your friends. Do the same on all the other podcast services, whether it's Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Like us on Facebook as well, why not? And yeah, that's going to do it for today. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.